Have you ever seen a fish jump out of the water? Have you ever seen a whale jump out of the water? We are on the island of Maui. I am here with Dr. Quincy. Aloha, Dr. Quincy.
Aloha.
A doctor so pretty like you've got to tell me about whales. First of all, I got one question. When a baby whale is born, is there a certain procedure that is called?
Well, we just call it birthing.
Birthing. What's the size of a whale when it's birthed?
It's usually about 15 feet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
How much
pretty
weight?
large. About a ton. About a ton.
ton.
When you compare that to the mother's size, though, 40 tons, it's quite large.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's the mom.
Yeah.
So we are here where the whales are playing and having fun, maybe finding husband whales, female whales, whatever you maybe call it. What's happening to the whale? I mean, the whale is so huge and kind of prehistoric. What's happening to the whale today? Please tell me.
Well, we're happy to report that the whale populations around the world are recovering, and they're recovering quite well. Here in the North Pacific, our population is recovering at a rate of about 7% every year. And so that's really good news. But of course, the population is so low still. It was decimated by commercial whaling in the 1800s and 1900s, and so there's still a long way to go. But it is moving in the right direction.
Sonar. Now, our listener, our viewer out there doesn't know, sonar testing. Does that hurt the whale?
Well, specifically it hurts the deeper diving species, such as the beaked whales. There is a lot of evidence to show that strandings do tend to occur around Navy sonar testing events. With the humpback whales, we don't necessarily see as strong of a connection to the sonar testing, but it is likely that there is some effect because of the increased sound in the oceans. These are very acoustic animals. They rely on their hearing for a lot of important information, and so all of that extra noise and sonar producing sounds in the ocean is probably going to have some kind of effect, but we don't necessarily know exactly what.
Is there some type of history to say the whale was on Earth at this date and time?
Unfortunately, I'm not an expert on whale evolution, so I wouldn't be able to give you an exact time frame, but we do estimate that it was about the Eocene period, so about 50 million years ago, 50 to 55 million years ago, that marine mammals evolved.
And they haven't really changed much, would you say? Or tell me, because I'm ignorant to it.
Right, well, it's hard to say. A lot of the fossils, I would say, are very similar to the modern day whales that you see. But again, I'm not an expert on whale evolution, so I'm not exactly the person to give you the definitive answer there.
How does one become a doctor of this type of thing? You know what I mean? Whales, dolphins, you're an expert on dolphins. How does someone become that person?
Well, it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of volunteering of your time. I actually went to school and did a double major in biology and psychology, and throughout that time I volunteered for a number of marine mammal projects around the world. And then I was very fortunate, and I was accepted into a wonderful graduate program, and everything just fell into place.
On the island of Maui, we are so blessed to have is it 2 times a year that the whales come and either breed, or how's that work?
They come once a year. They're here during the winter breeding season, and so the rest of the year they're up in Alaska or northern British Columbia, that part of the world. And so they grace us with their presence every winter, November through May, and they come here primarily to mate and give birth.
How long do they stay? I mean, how long does that process, how long is that process? I mean, we've all dated people in our time, and sometimes it's forever, and sometimes it only takes a week. I mean, like, what's the deal?
Right, well, with the whales, they don't actually form pair bonds, so they're very promiscuous when it comes
You're
to mating.
kidding.
No, and so we don't actually know who the fathers are of these calves, and whether the female whales know, we don't know. But they're promiscuous mating. They come and they form these competitive groups, which are really exciting to see out on the water. And there's going to be a center female, who's the nuclear female, and then a bunch of males will come in and fight for her attention. And so the whale that wins out and gets closest to her, we call him the primary escort, and we believe that he is the one that gets the mating opportunity with that female.
It's funny you should say that, because our cameraman's a primary escort on the weekends.